And part of the reason why I do a lot of work in violence against women is, well, I'm trained as an attribution theorist with Irene, and that has to do with victim blame. So I started with the area of victim blame, and in some ways I've come around full circle. I'm back at victim blame and rape myths, and that's why I was saying in the session today, what's odd about it is that it hasn't shifted over 25 years. We have made, in some ways, absolutely no progress. So that's how I got involved, because I teach in a department where they have a PsyD and clinical students and no social students. And so the intersection of where I am and where they are is violence against women. And so I've worked a lot on violence against women, and also Irene is pretty well known. I've worked a little bit with Irene on it. So for example, I never collected a lot of data, but Irene had all that data.
Right.
And actually, I have all the tapes because I wanted to listen to them all, but I couldn't bear to.
Yeah. Well,
that's why she gave them to me, because she didn't want to listen to them again either. They're very hard to listen to. Anyway, I have one of the things that I'm proud of in terms of the violence against women, and I just got tied into rape recently, and that's really Florence Denmark. She and her people connected with her, Michelle Pluti, Donna Castaneda. I don't know, they quit asking me to write chapters on partner violence, and they started asking me to write chapters on rape. I was into sexuality, I always have been, but now, I don't know, they just pulled me in, now I'm on rape. But what I'm most proud of, I would say, and it sort of pulls my research all together in some ways, is the movement from being an empiricist, which I would still characterize Irene as an empiricist, from an empiricist to writing the guidelines, and in writing the guidelines, working with Randy Kesky, like sort of inching forward to thinking beyond empiricism. We can't just correct our methods and then turn out something transformative. We have to really move beyond those methods. There's just a problem. You always have an angle. You can never really be fully objective. I started to understand that. And then I was working with my colleague Lisa Cosgrove, who was my student at Duquesne. She did her dissertation with me.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
On rape.
Oh my God.
Again, coming around full circle. And then because she's trained in Duquesne, phenomenological, and she has this philosophical bent, way beyond mine really. But together we wrote several chapters on feminist methods where we tried to move forward through social construction to the postmodern. And so I would say that the job we were doing was really sort of, I thought of it as a kind of translation of postmodern for the common feminist psychologist to try to understand the key issues, because it's hard to read the original work. They're they are hard to read, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, kind of hard to read. So oftentimes, Lisa read all the original, Derrida, Eric Way, and then I read some of it, but mostly I talked to Lisa, and then we would write together, and we really moved forward, and I'm really proud of that work that I did together with Lisa. But then I have taken it off on my own. I think that it has really helped the problem with violence against women that Irene was talking about today. So I edited 2 special issues of partner violence with Irene, Psychology of Women, and there were so many papers that we actually got a special issue of sex roles. And we brought all those papers in, and they all have to do with gender issues or women using violence. And so it's that divide between battered women, where males beat up women within an inch of their lives, versus Strauss's idea that men and women both commit violence equally in relationships. And there's a paper that I wrote. My students are listed with me because they helped edit everything, and I was trying to bring them along, but it's really a postmodern analysis, which says, quit having that either or debate. There's more than one reality. It depends on how you construct it. I think it's really a contribution. I felt proud of that contribution. That postmodern solution helps us get out of certain kind of corners that we trapped ourselves in, using this kind of either or thinking, or that there's an absolute reality that's correct, and which one of us has the best angle on reality. I like the analogy of the elephant in the room with 5 blind men. You know that one, where each of them thinks that they understand the elephant, but they only understand one part of the elephant, and the best understanding of the elephant is from the combination. So I really think that that's a contribution that I've already have made, but that's the contribution, that I see myself potentially making. Now, as I come sort of the end of my career, I figure I have 9 years left. I'm working on a 9-year plan, and I hope to bring the postmodern to the question of rape and sexuality and sexual violence and that sexualization.